Maya Carter sat quietly at the long dining table, trying her best to enjoy the family gathering. Laughter filled the room, plates clattered, people hugged and chatted. But she felt small like she always did around these people, especially around Aunt Denise. It happened suddenly, loud enough for everyone to hear. "So Maya," Aunt Denise said with a smirk, "are you still wasting your time on that little project of yours? That, what do you even call it? Community app? Such a useless dream. You're still a nobody." The room fell silent for a moment. A few cousins exchanged awkward looks. Nobody said anything. Nobody ever did when Aunt Denise attacked. Maya's throat tightened. She pressed her nails into her palm under the table, trying to keep her voice steady. "I'm still working on it," she said softly. Aunt Denise rolled her eyes. "Of course you are. Some people never learn. You could have had a real job, a real life, if you listened to me. But no, Maya always wants to chase silly dreams. No wonder you've achieved nothing." The words hit Maya like a slap. She kept her eyes down, pretending she didn't feel it, pretending she was used to it. In a way she was. This wasn't new. Since she was a teenager, Aunt Denise had spoken to her like this. Coldly, sharply, always reminding her how lucky she was to be taken in when her mother got sick. Those reminders always came with insults, as if kindness had to come with a knife. Maya swallowed hard. Her chest felt tight, but she forced a small smile. "It's okay," she whispered, even though it wasn't. Her cousins pretended to be busy with their food. Her uncle cleared his throat and changed the subject. Life moved on like nothing happened. That hurt even more. After dinner, Maya stepped outside for some air. The sky was dark, the air cool against her hot cheeks. She blinked away the sting in her eyes and took slow breaths. Her phone vibrated. She almost ignored it, thinking it was another useless notification. But then she saw the email subject line. "Congratulations, you have been shortlisted." Her heart stopped. She opened the message with shaking hands. It was real. The National Innovation Award. The one thousands of people applied for. And she was shortlisted. Maya covered her mouth, tears rising, not from pain this time, but from something warm and alive. The very thing Aunt Denise said she'd never achieve was happening. Maya Carter grew up between two worlds. For the first years of her life, she lived with her mother, a gentle woman who worked long hours but always found time to hold Maya close, read to her, and tell her she could be anything. But when Maya's mother fell seriously ill, everything changed. With no other close family to help, Maya was sent to live with her mother's older sister, Aunt Denise. At first, Maya thought it would be temporary. She believed her mother would get better, and she would go home. But the illness lasted, and Maya stayed with her aunt through most of her teenage years. That house never felt like home, even though it was supposed to. Aunt Denise took care of Maya's basic needs, food, clothes, school, but everything came with a cost. Her aunt always acted as if she was doing Maya a huge favor. She called it discipline, but it felt like something else. Sometimes it felt like resentment, other times jealousy, and sometimes a kind of bitterness Maya never understood. Aunt Denise would say things like, "You should be grateful I took you in," or "If your mother had made better choices, you wouldn't be my responsibility." Maya heard those words so often they became part of her inner voice. Still, she tried to keep her head down. She worked hard in school, avoided arguments, and stayed quiet. But the more she tried to please her aunt, the more her aunt pointed out her flaws. If Maya got an A, it wasn't enough. If she tried something new, it was silly. If she had a dream, it was unrealistic. Over time, Maya started believing she wasn't good enough. When Maya grew older, she moved out and started building her own life. She created a social impact tech project that helped underserved communities get access to health information, education resources, and small business tools. It was something she built with passion. Something that came from watching her mother struggle and seeing people who didn't have help. Her work was meaningful, but she often questioned herself. Years of belittlement had damaged her confidence. Even now, as an adult, every small success made her anxious. Every small mistake made her feel like she had failed. And every family gathering brought her back to that same house, where nothing had changed. Her cousins knew how Aunt Denise treated her. They saw the comments, the eye rolls, the little digs that sounded harmless to outsiders but cut deep. But they never said anything. They didn't defend her. They didn't comfort her. They just watched, some out of fear, some out of indifference, and some because that was simply how the family worked. Everyone stayed quiet, even when someone was being hurt. Those silent moments left marks on Maya too. They taught her that she had to survive alone. Inside, Maya carried a heavy mix of emotions. She feared failure because her aunt always said she would. She feared success because she didn't want to invite more jealousy or anger. She feared being judged, being misunderstood, being seen as weak. But she also had hope, a small, stubborn hope she learned from her mother. The hope that she could build a life that felt like her own. The hope that she could do something meaningful in the world. The hope that one day she would be free from the voices that told her she was nothing. That hope was the only thing that kept her going, even when everything else felt heavy. Maya advances to the finalist stage of a National Innovation Award. The news arrives early in the morning. She opens her email half asleep, expecting nothing special, but then she sees it. Congratulations, Maya Carter. You are now a finalist. For a moment, she just stares at the screen. Her heart races. She feels a rush of joy, fear, disbelief. This is the biggest recognition she has ever received. Only a few people make it to this stage. It means someone out there sees value in her work, real value. She wants to share it with someone, but she pauses. She knows her family won't react the way she wishes. Still, part of her hopes maybe, just maybe, her aunt will be proud this time. Maybe she will say something kind. So later that day, during another family gathering, she decides to mention it. She waits until the conversation is calm and then says quietly, I got some news today. I was selected as a finalist for the National Innovation Award. The room goes silent. A few cousins look up, surprised. Even they weren't expecting something big from her. But before anyone can speak, Aunt Denise laughs. A short, sharp, cold laugh. A finalist? For that, she says loudly, shaking her head. People like you don't win things like that, Maya. They probably added you just to fill space. The words hit Maya like ice water. She tries to smile, but her lips tremble. I worked really hard on my project, Maya says softly. Aunt Denise waves her hand dismissively. Hard work doesn't matter if you don't have the talent. You never had it. You waste time on ideas that will never go anywhere. Maya feels the familiar burn behind her eyes. She tries to stay calm, but today the hurt is different. It cuts deeper. Maybe because she truly believed this news meant something. Maybe because she dared to hope her aunt would finally see her worth. Her cousins stay silent, pretending to be busy. Her uncle clears his throat and looks down. No one defends her. Not even one word. Maya gathers her strength. I made it to the top 6 finalists in the entire country, she says, voice shaking but steady. Aunt Denise leans back in her chair. So what? You think this makes you special? You think this changes anything? Don't fool yourself. When the real judging happens, they'll pick someone better. They always do. Maya feels something inside her snap. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, like a thin thread breaking after years of strain. She suddenly realizes how much weight she has carried, how much she has tolerated, how long she has allowed every insult to shape her. She stands up from the table. I'm not asking for approval, she says quietly. I just wanted to share my good news. Her aunt crosses her arms. Then don't be upset when someone tells you the truth. I'm only being honest. Maya feels her chest tighten. Her hands shake. She can't stay there another minute. She steps outside, walking fast, breathing hard. The cold air hits her face, but it doesn't cool the heat of pain rising inside her. For years she kept silent, accepting the insults, trying to be the good girl who doesn't cause trouble. But today it feels different. Today the pain is too much to carry quietly. She sits on the porch steps and lets the tears fall. Not because she believes her aunt's words anymore, but because she's tired. So tired of being made to feel small. Tired of fighting alone. Tired of wishing for kindness that never comes. After a long moment, she wipes her face and looks at the sky. She whispers to herself, I have to do this. For me. Not to prove her aunt wrong. Not to get her family's approval. But to survive. To grow. To finally step into the life she wants. Right there, in that quiet moment, Maya makes a promise. She will give everything she has to win. Not for them but for herself. And for the first time in a long time, she feels a spark of strength inside her. A spark that says she deserves more than the pain she has been living with. Pressure mounts as Maya prepares for the final stages of the award. She has interviews to attend, presentations to practice, and documents to complete. Every day feels packed and heavy. She wakes up early, sleeps late, and spends long hours improving her project. She wants everything to be perfect, but with the pressure also comes fear. She worries about saying the wrong thing, missing a detail, or making a mistake. The closer the judging date gets, the more she feels her heart race. Her hands shake before every interview. She keeps reminding herself that she deserves to be here, but the old voice in her head, shaped by years of insults, keeps whispering that she is not enough. Meanwhile, Aunt Denise's behavior gets worse. Instead of staying quiet, she begins spreading rumors through the family. Maya exaggerates everything, she tells relatives on the phone. She always makes her projects sound bigger than they are. Don't get excited. It's nothing special. Some relatives believe her. Others stay silent. None of them reach out to support Maya. When Maya hears about the rumors, her heart sinks. She feels betrayed. Even after all these years, her aunt still finds ways to hurt her. But Maya keeps working. She refuses to let the negativity stop her, even though it makes things harder. One afternoon, Maya asks a cousin, Talia, to watch her laptop for a few minutes while she goes to get water. Talia smiles politely, but inside she carries her own jealousy. She had overheard Aunt Denise earlier saying Maya didn't deserve anything good. That seed of negativity grows in Talia's mind. While Maya is gone, Talia quickly opens her presentation file and deletes some important slides, subtle things Maya may not notice until later. She tells herself it's small and harmless. She tells herself Maya will be fine. But deep down, it is done out of envy and the influence of Aunt Denise's constant criticism. When Maya returns, Talia acts normal. Later that night, while practicing, Maya notices missing sections. Her heart drops. She scrolls through the slides again and again, thinking she must have made a mistake. But she knows she didn't. She never deletes anything by accident. For a moment, anger rises in her chest. She feels it burning, sharp and painful. She knows what must have happened. But she also knows confronting Talia will only create a bigger fight. People will call her dramatic, sensitive, or ungrateful. They always do. So she takes a deep breath, swallows the hurt, and rebuilds the slides from scratch. It takes hours. By the time she finishes, her eyes ache and her hands feel numb. But she forces herself to stay calm. She chooses dignity over drama, even though dignity feels heavy. As the days go on, the pressure grows. Her body feels tired, her mind scattered. She starts forgetting things, skipping meals, and losing sleep. She tries to stay strong, but each day chips away at her. One night, after a long practice session, Maya finally breaks. She sits on the floor of her small apartment, hugging her knees. Tears fall quietly at first, then harder, until she can barely breathe. She feels overwhelmed, lonely, and exhausted. She wonders why her own family wants to see her fail. Why they can't be happy for her. Why succeeding feels like a sin in her home. Why do they hate my success? She whispers through tears. What did I ever do wrong? The room is silent. No one answers. No one comforts her. She cries until she has no more strength left. Then she wipes her face, takes a deep breath, and slowly stands up. She looks at her reflection in the mirror. Tired, broken, but still standing. In that quiet moment, she realizes something important. She cannot change her family, but she can still change her future. And with that thought, she gathers herself and prepares for the final step ahead. The night of the award ceremony finally arrives. Maya stands outside the large event hall, dressed neatly, holding her small purse tightly. Her stomach feels tight with nerves, but she forces herself to breathe slowly. She looks around at all the families, teams, and friends cheering for the finalists. People are taking pictures, hugging, smiling proudly. And Maya is alone. Her family refused to attend. Her aunt said it was a waste of time. And the others simply stayed silent. A part of Maya had hoped someone would change their mind, but no one did. Still, she lifts her chin and walks inside. The hall is bright and beautiful, filled with important people. Maya tries to focus on the good things. She made it here. She earned her place. No one gave it to her. When the judges come to speak with her before the ceremony, they smile warmly. We were impressed by your work, one judge says. Your project is authentic and comes from real experience. Another adds, your resilience shows in every part of your presentation. You didn't just build an app, you built hope for people who need it. Hearing this, Maya feels her chest tighten. She almost can't believe their words. After a lifetime of hearing she was nothing, their praise feels unreal. But it also feels healing. Soon everyone takes their seats. Maya sits near the front row with the other finalists. Her hands tremble, but she keeps them together on her lap. The ceremony begins. They announce small awards first. Then the host steps forward for the biggest award of the night, the National Innovation Award. Tonight, the host says, we honor someone whose work brings real change to real people. Maya listens, heart pounding. Suddenly, she hears footsteps behind her. She turns slightly and freezes. Aunt Denise. She walks in quickly, holding her purse, looking around with a sour expression. Maya's chest drops. Her aunt wasn't invited. She never planned to come. She must have shown up expecting to see Maya lose so she could say, see? I told you. Aunt Denise sits in the back row, crossing her arms, watching like she is waiting for failure. Maya turns back toward the stage, trying not to let the pain distract her. The host continues. This project touched the judges with its purpose, honesty, and impact. Maya's heart beats harder. The winner of this year's National Innovation Award is. There is a pause. The whole room goes silent. Maya Carter. For a second she doesn't move. Did she hear that right? Then applause erupts. Loud, warm, real. People stand up, clapping, smiling in her direction. The judges look proud. Maya stands slowly, her legs weak, her eyes filling with tears. She walks to the stage, feeling light and heavy at the same time. In the back of the room, Aunt Denise is frozen. Her eyes are wide, her mouth slightly open. She looks shocked, deeply shocked, like her world has been shaken. The humiliation on her face is clear. She expected to see Maya fail. Instead, she is watching her succeed in front of hundreds of people. Maya receives the award from the judges. They shake her hand and congratulate her. Flashlights from cameras shine on her. She can barely speak from emotion. But when she finally does, her voice is soft and steady. Thank you. This means more to me than you know. The crowd claps again. As she steps off the stage, a warm wave of relief and pride washes over her. For the first time in her life, she feels seen. She feels worthy. She feels free from the shadow that had followed her for so long. Tonight, she didn't just win an award. She reclaimed herself. Maya finally confronts her aunt privately, calmly, confidently. It happens a few days after the award ceremony. She calls Aunt Denise to meet at a quiet cafe. Somewhere neutral, away from the noise and eyes of the family. When her aunt arrives, Maya sits straight in her chair, hands folded calmly on the table. Aunt Denise's expression is a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. She doesn't understand why Maya wanted to meet alone. I wanted to talk, Maya begins, her voice steady. Not to argue, not to fight, but to be clear about something important. Aunt Denise raises an eyebrow. Oh, and what is that? She asks, her tone sharp, the old attitude slipping through. Maya takes a deep breath. For years, I have tolerated your criticism, your insults, and your attempts to make me feel small. I listened, I stayed quiet, I tried to please you, even when it hurt me. But I can't do that anymore. Her aunt frowns, shifting in her seat. I was only trying to guide you, she says defensively. Maya shakes her head gently. What you call guidance felt like control. What you call discipline felt like shame. And what you call honesty felt like rejection. I don't need that anymore. I am setting boundaries. I will not allow you to belittle me again, in front of family or anyone else. For a moment, the cafe is quiet except for the clinking of cups and soft conversations around them. Aunt Denise looks at her, unable to interrupt. Maya continues. I am proud of what I've built, the work I've done, and the person I am becoming. Your opinion does not define my worth. I am free to choose my own life, my own happiness, and my own peace. Tears rise briefly in Aunt Denise's eyes, but she quickly blinks them away. You think you can just walk away from everything? She says, her voice shaky. Maya smiles softly, calm and unwavering. I am not walking away from life. I am walking toward it. I am choosing respect for myself over fear of what others think. I am choosing freedom over the weight of old pain. Her aunt opens her mouth, But Maya continues, letting her words sink in. I forgive the past because holding on to it only hurts me. But forgiveness doesn't mean I accept ongoing disrespect. That stops now. The meeting ends with silence. Aunt Denise does not apologize. She does not argue further. She leaves the cafe, shoulders tense, eyes avoiding Maya. And Maya feels a lightness she hasn't felt in years. After that day, Maya's life begins to shift in ways she never imagined. Opportunities from the award open new doors. Investors and partners reach out to support her project. Invitations to speak at conferences and mentor young innovators arrive. She is busy, challenged, and thriving. But more importantly, she feels an emotional freedom that no award or recognition could give. She no longer carries the weight of her aunt's words. She no longer doubts herself based on the past. She no longer seeks approval from people who have never given her support. Maya chooses her own path, surrounded by people who encourage her, respect her, and celebrate her. She builds friendships and professional relationships without fear of judgment. She enjoys her success fully, knowing it comes from her hard work, her resilience, and her vision. And when she thinks of her family, she no longer feels anger or hurt the same way. She still loves them in her own way, but she no longer allows them to control her emotions. Her life is hers, fully and unapologetically. For the first time, Maya understands that true empowerment is not about proving people wrong. It is about proving to yourself that you are enough, that you are strong, that your happiness, peace, and success are yours to claim, no matter who tried to take them from you. She sits quietly in her apartment one evening, reflecting on the journey. The weight of the past is gone. The future is open. And Maya smiles, knowing she is finally free. Maya writes a short message to herself, sitting at her desk with a quiet cup of tea beside her. The room is calm, the city lights glowing softly outside the window. She picks up her pen and begins to write slowly, choosing each word carefully. Remember, she writes, respect is something I give myself. Resilience is my strength. Peace is my choice. I do not need anyone's approval to know my worth. I will not let old pain control me. I am enough. I am capable. I am free. She pauses, reading the words aloud quietly to herself. They feel like a warm blanket, comforting and strong all at once. For the first time, she truly believes them. The doubts and fears that followed her for years now feel distant, like shadows fading at sunrise. Maya smiles softly. She thinks about her journey. Every insult, every heartbreak, every lonely night spent questioning herself. She thinks about the award, the recognition, the struggles she endured. But more than that, she thinks about the choice she made to rise above it all, to take control of her life, and to honor her own worth. Her hand hovers over the paper, and then she writes the last line. Her respect was never theirs to give. It was hers to reclaim. She reads it again slowly, letting the words settle deep in her heart. A quiet strength blooms inside her. Not loud, not boastful, just steady and certain. Maya closes her journal, leans back, and breathes. The world outside is still the same, but she is not. She is free. She is whole. She is finally at peace. And in that quiet moment she knows, with every fiber of her being, that her life is hers, and hers alone. Hi besties. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time.